Hello everybody, my name is Barry McAleenan with McAleenan Training Center. My dad Pete and I run the business up here in Fort Collins. We headquarter out of Stonegate Ranch. And this here is Skippy, and he is a 12-year-old Palomino that we've shown a little bit in reining over the years and stuff. And he's a horse that my daughter rides, and he's kind of a pasture guy now, but he's good for demonstrations and a good school horse. And I'd just like to show you a few things that we do, some of the things about our program and our approach to schooling and making better riding horses for any kind of event, any discipline. So I'll go ahead and get started on that and just show you a couple of things right from the start. One of the things we like to do right from the beginning, especially with our green horses, to get them to start softening up laterally, is we'll take with the bridle rein and we'll walk toward their hip, and we want them to move that hind quarter over and step that left hind, if we're going this direction, up in front of the right hind and step across with that hind end and start loosening up that hind end, which is loosening him up through the spine. Then he's able to soften up laterally and give to the bridle better. Instead of trying to just yank on a horse and pull that head around, get the body moving a little bit first. Then they'll give a little softer to the bit. This is what we do right from the very beginning on the ground. Ask them to keep the front end more in one spot. Not completely. We allow them a little bit of movement, but we really want that hind end to start stepping across, teaching them footwork right from the beginning. Once we've done that a little bit, we'll go ahead and get on. We like to break it down into 3 different areas. Make it simple for people. Don't give them too much to have to think about. Make it a little bit easier. Break it down into 3 areas, 3 body parts that we want to really get control of, that are necessary to do any kind of event or discipline, or just to have a good riding horse. Maybe you want to have a nice horse to ride on the trails, or whatever you want to do with them. If they're well schooled with the basics right from the beginning, or if a horse that's had some problems, we can address certain issues where things have gone wrong. We do a lot of that. But with this program that we have in our approach, we're looking for a horse that has correct footwork, is balanced, and light to handle. And again, going back to, I'm going to run through this kind of quick, but going back to what we were doing on the ground, that's the next thing that we'll address. I talked about the 3 areas: hindquarters, shoulders, and then being able to put the whole horse together in collection, and then be able to extend him as well. So the first part that we were working on was getting control of that hind end. And what I'm going to do is reach down on my rein, go low and wide, just like I was doing on the ground. And I'm going to drop my left leg back a little bit behind the girth, and I'm going to squeeze. Every time he steps, I release a little. Squeeze, step, squeeze, step, squeeze, step, squeeze, step. This is what we call a crude version of a turn on the forehand. We're allowing him to move a little bit in the front, and we've got him bent. Later on, when a horse gets a little bit more broke, we'll ask less turn of the head and keep the front end more stationary. So he's actually doing more of a correct turn on the forehand. And then we do it on both sides because horses are right-sided and left-sided just like we are. They'll be stiffer a little bit more on one side than the other. So you need to address both sides evenly. By doing these different drills and bending the different body parts and moving them around, what we're after is getting straightness out of the horse, being able to be pretty coordinated on both sides. So we started in that area, and that's starting to teach him his leg aids, moving that hind end off the squeeze of my leg. After a while, you can just take a little position and almost think about putting a leg on, and that horse is going to move over. He learns, it's in his subconscious, he doesn't have to sit there and think about it.